Today, I'm answering a question. Their question is this. My cousin and I are starting a Christian radio station. One of our first projects beyond planning stages is to purchase a commercial from one of my established businesses in an effort to learn about the process of selling airtime and commercials. I became convicted and proposed that we be transparent about our intentions to the company that we purchased this commercial airtime from. My cousin is resistant due to the fact that this would not be the most prudent business decision. I feel that we should be transparent because as Christians, everything we do should be done in the light. And I said that hidden motives could derail God's blessings on our venture. He mentioned that in essence, business is warfare and we will be giving our secrets to our future competition. That made me think of many unconventional warfare plans that God gave the children of Israel. It also made me think of the times he sent spies into the land. So should we be transparent or should we be secret shoppers? Thanks for the question. Basically, what we're trying to answer with this question is, should Christians be secretive in their business dealings? So let me address a couple issues before I kind of answer that particular questions. The first thing I want to point out is that business is really not warfare. A lot of people in the secular arena place business in the same category as a war, or they put it in the same category as a game that there's one trophy to win and there could be only one winner. Business is not warfare, and business is not a game where there's only one prize and one trophy. One of the revelations that God gave me about business is that as business owners, we have to stop trying to beat the competition. That's not the goal that God has given us. The goal that God has given us, his desire is for us to be great, not the best. When you're great, your mission is to serve the people that you're called to serve. You're not concerned with what's going on outside of you, because once you start trying to beat the competition, you're starting to worry about what other people are doing, and that's irrelevant. You're concerned with what God has called you to do, because you're going to be successful and great in business not because you are beating the competition. You're going to be successful because God has anointed you to be successful, not because you beat any supposed competition. So that's one of the first thing I want to kind of change your thought process around, is to not look at business as warfare or a competition where you got to beat an opponent. So now we kind of got off on that tangent. Let's get back to the question at hand. Should Christians be secretive in business? I will begin by saying that Christians in any area of your life, you should not lie. John 8:44 says, you belong to your father, the devil, and you want to carry out your father's desires. He was a murderer from the beginning, not holding the truth, for there is no truth in him. When he lies, he speaks his native language, for he is a liar and the father of lies. So we see that when you are lying, you're being deceptive, you're not telling the truth, you're of your father, the devil, and the devil is the father of lies. God is the father of truth, not lies. So as a Christian, in any area of life, we should not lie. So for me, I choose not to lie in any situations. Not even when I'm trying to surprise my wife. I'm not going to lie to her. If she asks me what we're doing for our birthday, I'm not going to lie and say nothing. I'm going to try to explain it into a way that still makes it a surprise, but I'm not being deceptive and I'm not lying, which kind of goes into the next point of this particular message I want to talk to you about, is that we can be honest, but we don't have to tell everybody everything. Let's look at Matthew 26:60-64. But they did not find any, though many false witnesses came forward. Finally, 2 came forward and declared, this fellow said, I am to destroy the temple of God and rebuild it in 3 days. Then the high priest stood up and said to Jesus, are you not going to answer? What is the testimony that these men are bringing against you? But Jesus remained silent. So Jesus is about to be crucified. This is the last few hours before the crucifixion. And all these false witnesses are coming against him, claiming all these different things. And they ask him a point blank question. And they ask him, are you going to answer? And Jesus remained silent. So he chose not to answer. He didn't lie to him. He didn't tell him a story. He remained silent. So in certain situations, when people are coming at you asking questions, you don't owe them an answer. You can be like Jesus and just remain silent. So if you and your cousin want to purchase airtime for another business, you don't have to tell the radio station that you're using this ad time to test out the process. You can remain silent on that. That's not lying to them. What's lying to them, if they ask you, hey, why are you buying this? And you say, well, we're buying this for the only purpose of promoting my business. Now, that's a lie, because that's not true, because what you're saying is that the only reason that we're buying this is to promote our business. Now, that's a lie. Instead, what you could say is you could either remain silent and say, hey, we just don't want to discuss that right now. Or you could say, well, one of the reasons is that we want to promote our business and we have some other reasons for doing this, but we choose not to discuss that right now. So you can be truthful and you can be silent without telling a lie. So we have the power to decide if we respond to a particular question, but we should never lie with the intent to deceive. Let's keep reading. The high priest said to them, I charge you under oath by the living God, tell us if you are the Messiah, the Son of God. You have said so, Jesus replied. But I say to all of you, from now on, you will see the Son of Man sitting at the right hand of the Mighty One and coming on the clouds of heaven. So they were asking Jesus a question about one thing, and he gave them an answer about something totally different. We can pick and choose what we tell people. And by picking and choosing what you tell people, as long as the goal is not to deceive, you're telling them the truth. You can remain silent on some questions, and if they ask you one question, you can give them an answer to something totally different. Or, as I said, you can choose to not answer at all. Let's look at Luke 20, verses 1-8. One day, as Jesus was teaching the people in the temple courts and proclaiming the good news, the chief priests and the teachers of the law, together with the elders, came up to him. Tell us, by what authority are you doing these things? They said. Who gives you this authority? He replied, I will also ask you a question. Tell me, John's baptism, was it from heaven or human origins? They discussed it among themselves and said, if we say from heaven, he will ask, why didn't you believe him? But if we say of human origins, all the people will stone us because they are persuaded that John was a prophet. So they answered, we don't know where it is from. Jesus said, neither would I tell you by what authority I'm doing these things. In this example of Jesus, this group of priests came to him asking him a gotcha question. There was a question that was designed to entrap Jesus in his words. And so what Jesus did, he turned the tables on them and he asked them a gotcha question. And they lied to him by saying, we don't know. They knew how they felt about it, but they lied by saying, we don't know. And Jesus, he didn't lie. He just simply said, I'm not going to tell you by what authority I do these things. So in the same way, if you're going to buy ads for your radio station, or if you're going to do something else in business with other companies, if they ask you why you're doing this, you can simply say, hey, I'm choosing not to say right now, or this is something that's internal within our business and this is not something we disclose. Jesus did not give everybody an answer to every question they asked. He picked and chose how he responded. Sometimes he was silent, and sometimes he gave them an answer to a question they didn't even ask, but he never lied to them. So you can be honest without being deceptive. So I hope the answer to this question is giving more insight and clarity around this question. Should Christians be secretive in business? And simply stated, we can pick and choose whether or not we remain silent or not. Just because somebody asks us a question, we're not obligated to give an answer, but we should never lie. We should never lie with the intent to deceive. If you don't want to divulge a reason why you're doing something, just simply say that. You don't have to make a big to-do about it. Just simply say, I choose not to discuss this.